What's up my nerd friends? Today I want to introduce you with some low rarity units. So mainly the 4-star and also the 3-stars unit. Now don't look down on these units. This unit can actually very well be better than some of the 6-stars out there. I'm looking at you, Ref. So the first one, Nails. Nails is a fire sniper that has a global chain, so he can attack enemies from anywhere. But that is not his main selling point. His main selling point is actually his active skill. Choose one tile as a target, sacrifice 15% of current HP to deal an equal amount of damage to enemies within 9 squares. This damage ignore defense and inflict 1 stack of bleeding that lasts for 2 rounds. Nail's basic max HP increased by 50%. So what does this mean? So Nail can select a 9 square tiles and do 1 instance of damage to enemy inside it. Now keep in mind, this is not a detonator style active skill. It can only attack a big target once. But since it ignores defense and he used 15% of his current HP to do equal amount of damage, which also scales, by the way, every time he uses his ability, because every time he uses abilities, his max HP is increased by 50%. So you can actually see him doing more damage every time you use his abilities. And also at Ascension 3, he also unlocked this effect where for every 15% HP Nails has lost, the target will be inflicted with 1 stack of bleeding. So maximum will be 5 stacks if your health is below 15% health. So all in all, this ability is very strong. You have the scaling damage every time you use the abilities, and you also have inflating bleedings the lower health you have. And Nails is one of the key unit in damage over time build, and is suitable to defeat target with very high amount of health, especially in Elysium and some of the stages that requires some cheesing. Overall, I would say Nails is one of the must-have to raise one because he is very strong in the right scenario. And I do think he is mandatory to clear some of the Elysium stages. Now the second one, Chandra. Chandra is a fire sniper. At Ascension 3, she unlocked an active skill that refresh on kill. So every time you kill an enemy, her cooldowns become active again. So you can use it again, and if you kill an enemy, you can use it again. And you kind of understand what this means, right? Deal 150% damage to the enemy on one selected tile. Remove active skills cooldown if the target is defeated with the skill. But her important part is on her equipment. Gain 1 stack of negativity mark whenever an active skill is used, up to 5 stacks. Each stack increases the number of active skill attacked by 1, reducing final damage by 8%. Each mark increases chain combo damage by 5%. So basically, every time you use your active skills, you reduce your chain combo damage, but you shoot out 1 more active skills. And the higher the level, you will reduce less final damage. So you can see actually it's very important to get your equipment skill very high levels in order to do more damage. And she is best used in Nitium bonus stages. So I will show you what I mean here. So in the Nitium stages, there will be times where after you defeating the boss, you will have these bonus stages and you will need to kill this Scourger, I think that's what they call. And for each Scourger kill, you will get Nitiums. With Chandra, well, you can just shoot down one of them because you have unlimited active skills and you have unlimited range. So after you kill them all and you get 1 more Aurora time, you actually will get 1 more wave of Scourger. With Chandra, you can get up to 80,000 Nitium from the bonus stage alone. But of course, Chandra is not only used in the Nitium bonus stages, she's just the best at it. She can be used on certain Spire stages as well. But I will say most of the higher Spire, most enemies already have too much health for Chandra to kill. So I think she lost a little bit of usefulness the higher you go. But some of the stages, especially Ferocian, which summon a lot of clones, you can use Chandra to kill all the clones every single round. So she's useful over there. My next favorite 4-star is Brock. Now this is my personal favorite. I only use Brock after I unlock his max breakthrough, because I mainly use Brock on the first turn to gather enemy up. His active skill, deal 300% damage to all enemies and aggro all enemies to the unit. The final damage increased by 10% for each tile enemy move on. So obviously, the main focus of Brock is on his active skills. When you use his active skill, he will actually pull every single enemy toward you, and this will make farming so much easier. And he also do a global AoE damage. Brock will speed up your secret territory stages if you are willing to manual them, and he will also speed up your autos as well in the main story stages, or even just farming in general. And in Alchemy Star, you farm a lot, so saving a little bit of time every single day, in my opinion, is kind of important, and Brock really do that. All in all, I do think this active skill is not only just for farming. Sometimes you could use it too. Grouping up enemies. I mean, there are some enemies focusing on running away, like this thing here, and Brock can pull them over for easier kill. So I wouldn't say he is just for farming, but he is best at farming, increasing your farming speed. Next one, Tessa. Now, I believe Tessa is the strongest 4-star. Gently click the like button if you agree. Tessa is a thunder detonator with insane amount of burst damage. The reason why is her equipment skill. Grant a Tessa mark. When using an active skill, each mark deals 50% damage that ignore defense to enemy within 2 surrounding clusters around Tessa. Activating the active skill clears all marks. You gain a Tessa mark whenever Tessa use chain combo or whenever your team Thunder Aurorian use an active skill. So if your team has a low cooldown Thunder unit, you can really stack up their Tessa mark for very high. And remember, each stack is 50% damage of Tessa that ignore defense, and not only that, it actually attack big targets, multiple tiles. So you can see how much damage she can potentially do on like a big unit. Tessa works best on bosses with multiple phases such as Deathless, or any kind of bosses with Berserk mechanic like Shelmer, like Kazude, or Shout and Shire. Of course, the bigger the target, the better the Tessa is. But overall, I would say Tessa is one of the strongest, and also, I wouldn't say must have, but if you are on a budget, Tessa is definitely a really good choice to raise. And then for the next one, I want to group these 3 units on the same buckets because they kind of do the same thing, and they are the resident healer for their elements. So this Raya, Nadine, and also Alice. For water healer, you want to look for Phyllishy. In general, Phyllishy is the best healer, and you could use Phyllishy in other elements, but because of Spire, you will still want to raise these 4-star healers. And Raya and Nadine is specifically very strong, even might be stronger than Phyllishy in their own elements. However, I wouldn't say Alice is very stronger than Phyllishy even in Fire team. But for the sake of Spire, I do think it's still worth to raise Alice. Of course, they can heal and you use them if you need healing. That's pretty much it. I do want to say though, Nadine also have the special effect where she can blind enemy, so that when the enemy is blind, there is 30% chance for the attack to miss. This can be potentially useful to cheese out certain stages, who knows. And also Alice used to have this immortality effect where whenever his active skill is up, he actually cannot die to one shot, but developer has fixed that, so it's no longer available. So those are my top 5, I would say, 4-star Aurorians. And we're gonna go into some honorable mention here. These are units where they are good enough to be mentioned, but they are not really good enough to be like, oh, they are the best unit ever. So the first one is Kafka. Kafka is a very good budget damage dealer for a Thunder team. She has a global range sniper chain, and this sniper chain can also do splash damage. So she is equally good on mobbing stage and also boss because of the splash damage. And she also has this active skill where you can gain stacks whenever you move on yellow tiles. So kind of similar to Tessa, but this active skill don't ignore defense, and it also only attack like 2 tiles. So it doesn't really do that much damage, but it's pretty good damage overall. And next one we have Chloe. Chloe is used specifically in Regal team. Why? Because of her active skill. Her active skill grant a concerto mark when cast. Each blue tile on the battlefield and each stack of the mark grant all deployed members an attack bonus equal to 0.5% of Chloe attack for 2 rounds. So a concerto mark is gained whenever passing by a blue tiles. All marks are clear when using an active skill or passing a tile of another element. So Chloe is a damage buffer, and because of how Regal works, where you burst the enemy in one turn, Chloe can really help increasing that multiplier up for a little bit higher. And the next one, we have Lester and Pasolo. So these two are really good units to be used in damage over time build. Pasolo can be used in regular green team as well if you're on a budget, because he does convert tile to green. But overall, their main use case is in damage over time team, together with Nails and Audi and also some of the, I guess, stunner. Next one we have Wendy. Now Wendy is quite a special teleporter. She has a global teleporter that can be used again to return to a starting point, and you can actually use this ability anytime you want. So Wendy active skill, generate 1 Wendy feathers on the battlefield on battle start, and then generate 1 Wendy feather on the spot. After using an active skill, tap Wendy feather to return to its location. Only 1 Wendy feather can be used on the battlefield. So on the round start, you get a feather randomly placed on the battlefield, and you can tap on it to teleport over there. And whenever you teleport as well, you also leave a feather on your original position. So Wendy is very mobility characters. I mean, you can teleport around the map very quickly. So Wendy is specifically good for survival stage because you can teleport each corner whenever you want, kind of. And she is also very good for setting up Sicario abilities, so you can teleport to a really optimal position to use Sicario ability and then come back, so you can do Aurora time. Overall, a pretty good unit, and don't sleep on her. Next up we have Miss Blank. Miss Blank can convert up to 4 water tile at 2 cooldown preemptive. She's not as good as Sadio and Kalikan, but if you don't have Sadio yet, you can actually use her. She's pretty decent. And then next we have Peppy. Peppy has a 0 cooldown teleport, a very unique one. She's actually very strong for reposition or like survival stage. Like certain boss, they walk really fast to you, and Peppy actually can really help you survive better. And then next we have Tiny One, which is a 3-star unit, same with Peppy. Tiny One is a fire converter on a budget, like extremely budget, because he's a 3-star. She doesn't even need dupes to reach max breakthrough, and she has a preemptive strike fire tile that you can select on anywhere on the map, and it turns into a fire prism tile. So you turn up fire prism tile, when you walk on it, it will actually extend 2 more tiles on the position you walk to. So you will get a total amount of 3 tiles if you use it correctly. On a 2 cooldown basis, that is actually pretty decent. And because you can select anywhere you want, you can actually really big brain this, and sometimes even better than some of the 4 tile converter out there. However, I would say Tiny One has one of the worst stat, like literal worst stat in the game. She has the lowest amount of health and lowest amount of attack. So do keep in mind on that. Tiny One is not definitely something you want to put in your end game, but you could. I'm not saying. And also, she only can go up to Ascension 2, which is same for all 3-star unit. And the next one I want to introduce is also the last one, is Unimate. Unimate is pretty similar to Tiny One. She is a budget converter for the Thunder team, but she has only 1 cooldown. So she can throw a can at any selected tile, changing the tile to yellow enhanced tile. A lightning crystal, meteorite crystal, bandage, attack or defense is randomly generated on the tiles. So she can actually generate items that you can walk over and gain attack buff or healing, or you can do some damage. I actually don't think it do percentage damage like your usual lightning crystal or meteorite. It actually just do a little bit damage. The best one is obviously the bandage, attack or defense. But overall, if you can convert 1 tile on 1 cooldown, it's actually pretty decent already. And she works specifically good with Tessa, because Tessa one unit that has low cooldowns. And not only that, she can actually heal. Her equipment, whenever there's no enemies within the chain combo range, recovered their team health equal to 150% of Unimate attack. Now obviously this is not some really high amounts of healing because she's a 3-star and she can only go up to Ascension 2, so your healing is kind of limited. But hey, healing is healing. That is all my Nerf friends. The 4-star unit I would recommend you to raise. Now obviously, of course, there are a lot other low rarity unit out there, and if I miss out anyone, you can leave in the comment below which one do you like the most and which one did I miss that you like the most. And of course, I just really want to see if people watch until the end of this video. So if you're one of them, hey, maybe type this specific keyword shown on the screen right now, you know, just to confuse the people who scroll down to the comments. Anyway, if you find this video helpful or entertaining, please gently click the like button and also subscribe if you want more Alchemy Star content. I'll see you all next time. Peace.